Hey everyone, let's talk about The Girl on the Landing by Torday, and boy do I have issues with this book. It already starts with, what is this book about? Is it about the marriage of the two narrators, Elizabeth and Michael? Or is it about how we treat mental illness? Or is it questioning mental illness as a problem in general? I don't really know. The book starts with the couple visiting friends or acquaintances in Ireland, and that's where everything starts, and Michael changes. We started with Michael narrating, and that's where the first problem starts. It's really difficult to get into the writing. In the first chapter I didn't really know what was going on, I didn't know who was narrating, who was this person. It took a few pages, and okay, sometimes that happens. But then we go to the second chapter, and about 3 pages in the second chapter, after being completely confused, I realized that it's Elizabeth narrating all of a sudden, and it is not well done. The skipping between the two narrators, first it's every other chapter, and later it's more and more Elizabeth taking over the narration, which is kind of sad because she doesn't really know what's going on. So we have Elizabeth and Michael's point of view of their marriage and their life. We get from Elizabeth that she entered this marriage with this dull person that she sort of liked, and he has money, so it was a good catch, but she never really describes her marriage as steamy, hot, and Michael as energetic. It was just like, he's just there. And from Michael's point of view, we realize that his point is changing, that he has interests that he doesn't share with people, and things he keeps from others. Those are the things we get early on in the book. As we go on and on and on in the story, things get more and more confusing and entangled, and Michael changes to a completely new person. Elizabeth falls madly in love with this new Michael and is like, why wasn't my marriage like this the whole time? And other things. So let's talk about this marriage stuff first, because I was like, what the hell is that? Is this a distant British marriage that you hear about, that people are like, oh yeah, that's so British, we're distant, we don't get close. What the hell? Who gets married to someone they're like, yeah, well, he's okay? So leaving aside the whole marriage problem, there is also a health issue. Because pretty early on we discover that Michael has stopped taking his medication. And Elizabeth didn't know that he was on medication. She doesn't know anything about her husband, let's be honest. But she goes snooping around trying to find out what's going on. And Michael is getting better and better and better. But we don't really know what he has. It takes a long time to find out what's his problem, what's going on there, and really no one ever says anything directly. Everywhere Elizabeth goes and tries to find out, they're evasive, they don't tell anything, and Michael is evasive, he doesn't tell anything, and it's weird, and it's just strange. Then we have the issue of a mental illness. We get Michael portrayed as a very dull person in the beginning when he was taking his medication. Now that he's off his medication, he's like a very romantic, spontaneous lover, and he seems pretty cool. So that's the middle part. But towards the end, things get worse. Elizabeth finds out more and more about the mental health of her husband and the state of his mind, and Michael keeps falling back into his old personality that he was as a teenager, and all the things that he did then. And it's kind of weird. It is never portrayed as a good or bad thing. We always are stuck in between the treatment of the mental illness, and we get stuck in between, like, what do we call it, and what is the issue, and what is the danger, or is there a danger? And all of that is just in between. It is so weird, and it's not well done. I really didn't like how this whole thing unfolded. And on top of that, there is this lingering question whether Michael is ill or just on a different step of evolution. And up to the end, we're not really sure if he is hallucinating some things or if they are really existing. Everything is questioned, and it's words. I can't even say it. It's just there's no real solution. You have to come up with that for yourself, which is fine. But with all this confusion before, what does the author want to tell me? I don't even know what he thinks about it. I don't even know what he wants to tell me. Like, go into a bad marriage and it might turn out to be a lunatic? What? Or maybe hang out with the loonies. They're fun to be with. They're romantic. They're spontaneous. They're entertaining. Wow, thunderstorm. So overall, I really didn't like the book. The narrative took a long time to get into it and never really flowed. I didn't like either of the characters, neither Elizabeth nor Michael nor anyone else who was there. I didn't really like the story. The mysterious part is basically what kept me going, because I wanted to find out what's wrong with Michael. What does the author want to tell with this story? But If you're still here at this time of the video because you're interested in the author, I would recommend picking up Salmon Fishing in the Yemen. Because I read this years ago, I really enjoyed the writing, I really enjoyed the story, it was much better. According to Goodreads, The Girl on the Landing is a pretty unknown novel, so if anyone has read it and has some opinion on it, just tell me in comments, because I'm lost. Thank you all for watching, especially if you stayed this long. Bye bye.